we heard what sounded like a jet engine, like landing in our backyard.
Tonight on Alaska's news source, reflecting on the 7 seconds one man says it took the deadly Ketchikan landslide to hit his home nearly a year ago.
High wind advisories and flood watches continue in the interior with heat advisories in southeast.
Plus, an effort to clean up a property in Fairbanks that's accumulated a lot of trash. And unearthing history. A settlement on Kodiak is found to date back 300 years, more than any other site in the area.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Tomorrow marks 1 year since the deadly Ketchikan landslide. It came through multiple streets in a residential area. Sean Griffin, the man in the middle of this photo with the orange hat, was killed and others were injured. The borough mayor says the town is getting back to a full recovery as the scar in the landscape can still be seen.
So this area that's right directly behind us, this is the primary area of the slide that came down last August, about a year ago. And in doing so, took out several homes, closed one of our major bypass roads, and cut off power, destroyed telephone poles, caused quite a bit of damage to the community. We're still recovering from the death of a hero who died in the line of duty and another one who was severely injured.
We're hearing from James Montevere about him, his husband, and their dogs. They were some of the few people stuck in their home after the landslide. Here's a bit of what James had to say.
It was beyond traumatic. Bill still has flashbacks every now and then. The dogs, every time there's thunder, lightning, or loud wind, because wind is what we heard when the trees came crashing down, and they just panic every time, to the point where we almost have to medicate them if there's a bad storm coming.
Tomorrow, we're working on an extended version of this story. We'll hear where James and Bill have landed and how they're doing a year later. And Bailey, there's a lot of active weather in the west and the interior today. What should we know about it?
Well, the biggest thing to know is that if you are in the west or the interior, there are lots of wind gusts happening, and these can range from 20 miles an hour up to 60 miles an hour, depending on where you are. But most of that wind is in the interior. We're also monitoring lots of rain that's coming into the area. So that's what's happening with your upper level forecast. You can really see that stream, and that stream in, green, blue. That's what's bringing in all of this moisture and all of this high wind. And you can see that it even lasts all the way through Monday going into Tuesday. So if you're in the western side of Alaska or you're in the interior, you're going to be facing these conditions going through Monday as well. So expect these conditions tonight and tomorrow. But over here in Anchorage, with our out-the-door forecast and our photo by Tracy Try, we're expecting cloudy conditions, and these cloudy conditions are from lingering moisture that's coming from that jet stream that's affecting interior Alaska. So it's a pretty big system spanning through most of the state, and that's bringing in those cloudy conditions for here in South Central, as well as some light scattered showers possibilities for overnight tonight and through tomorrow as well. But this is very light rain compared to what we're seeing in the interior. So tomorrow with our Skycast, we're seeing these cloudy conditions lasting all night and lasting through tomorrow as well. But temperatures are still going to stay slightly warmer above average in the mid-60s. So you're going to peak about 64 degrees or 66 degrees tomorrow, but with lots of showers in the interior. So you're seeing those temperatures slightly warmer in the interior, but that's still going to consist of lots of rain moving through. So you're going to see nearly half an inch of rain in areas like Fairbanks, lots more in McGrath, but areas like Bethel and Nome, you're going to see fractions of an inch of rain. But we're continuing to see lots and lots of wind moving through that area, which is the most damaging part of the storm system. But of course, we do have our sunlight hours, and these days are just gradually shortening more and more. So make sure that you start to do something, get outside, get ahead of the seasonal darkness that's coming in, and just get outside, because we are in that time of year where we're chasing the sunset, Michaela.
Yeah, it really feels like we're getting towards fall as the sun is setting so much earlier.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bailey. The Fairbanks North Star Borough finished the 10-day process of cleaning up a property this week known as a junkyard property where excessive trash had been accumulated. This week's cleanup near Badger Road culminates months of work and years of contact with the property owner, the borough getting court permission for the cleanup in July. According to the mayor, this is just the start of a wider effort to enforce the borough's code, with 20 to 30 more properties qualifying as junkyards spread across the borough. Some just eyesores, other crime concerns.
We've been pretty close communication with the Alaska State Troopers on some of these properties that they stop at day after day after day and want to see us doing our part to clean up the community, to make it safer.
Hopkins says the borough is also working with the city to help them clean up junkyard properties in their jurisdiction by waiving fees for disposing of the trash at local landfills. And archaeologists working in the Kodiak region have thought the oldest dated settlements were around 7,500 years old. Now, that history is expanding by nearly 300 years after a team of archaeologists from the Alutiiq Museum uncovered a campsite that dates back 7,800 years. At the campsite, researchers found stone tools and a small stone circle that resembled a fire pit. And inside the fire pit, they found charcoal.
This was the first time that we have dug an archaeological site and obtained samples of charcoal, wood charcoal from a hearth from a little fireplace, and we sent them to a radiocarbon dating lab, and they came back at about 7,800 years old. So that's about 300 years older than any other documented archaeological site from the Kodiak Archipelago.
With the ever-expanding history, the Alutiiq Museum will now move to update their exhibits and printed publications to reference this update. And yesterday, we were taking a look at vegetables from the Alaska State Fair. Tomorrow is the 19th annual Midnight Sun Great Pumpkin Weigh-Off. Lauren Maxwell is planning to be there covering it. Stick to Alaska's news source for the latest on that.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.